Simple is one of the greatest players in CS history. He's a legend everyone in the community has followed, and even people who's never touched the game know his name. But despite all his achievements and the insane level he has shown, his future in the game is looking pretty uncertain right now. In this video, we're diving into the current team, his form, and making some subjective predictions about what's next for him. But before we start, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit that bell, and smash that like button. Let's go into it. To understand where Simple is now and what's ahead, we need to rewind a bit. In October 2023, Simple officially went inactive and was benched. Around the same time, CS2 officially replaced CS. 2022 to 2023 were the peak years of Simple's career. Winning a major and the entire Grand Slam speaks for itself. His decision to take a break makes sense. He hit all his goals, was recognized as the best player in CS history, and had nothing left to prove. This is where the problem of motivation kicks in. Think about it. All the titles are his. He's made enough money to live comfortably for the rest of his life, so what's left to push him forward? Most people, especially from the CIS region, see CS as their ticket to a better future. That's true for any sport. Simple took a huge risk choosing the esports path, but he nailed it and achieved everything he dreamed of. The only thing missing from his career is creating his own era with Navi. Compared to teams like Astralis or SK Gaming, the short period when Navi were dominating is hard to call a true era. When Simple decided to take a break and go inactive, other players, hungry for victories, doubled down of grinding and learning the new game. Even though CS2 is a continuation of CS, its mechanics are noticeably different. Think back to how you felt when the game first launched. For at least 6 months, everyone was complaining that CS2 was, to put it mildly, a flop. Some people are still arguing for CS2 to come back CSGO.
Do I like the game, bro? It's not ready yet. It's fucking trash right now. Sounds are bad, movement are bad. Everyone is fucking stuck in each other, you know?
But fortunately, Simple's break didn't last long. In February 2024, everyone was surprised by the announcement that Falcons had signed Simple on loan for one tournament. Fans were hyped, thinking the GOAT is back to show the kids how it's done. Sadly, it didn't pan out that way. After playing a single best-of-3, the team was eliminated with 2-1 scoreline. If we're talking about Simple's individual stats, it was just 0.93 HLTV rating. That result sparked a lot of debate, but the outcome was clear. Simple returned to the bench. Fast forward to September this year, and Simple rejoined Falcons. So far he's played in 2 tournaments, but he's only managed a positive KD in half of the matches. In my opinion, the roster isn't going to deliver strong result. It's essentially a mix of washed-up players who were great in the past and tier 2 talent. On paper and in practice, this lineup just doesn't look competitive. The team is in desperate need of changes. It's clear that the sheikhs backing Falcons have endless money and can buy almost any player they want, but building a great team requires balance. You can't have more than 1 or 2 star players in top team. Otherwise, they'll all try to take the spotlight, and that doesn't lead to success. Falcons need a solid in-game leader, but the pool of available high-level captains is pretty dry right now. They also need a strong coach. As legendary as Zonic is, I have my doubts about whether he can bring this team to a level where they're winning tournaments. It's been a while since he's taken the team to the HLTV top 3, but to be fair, the rosters he's coached recently weren't exactly stacked with talent, so it's hard to say whether he still has what it takes. At the moment though, one thing is clear. This current Falcons lineup is hard to call promising. The management needs to act fast and think about roster changes. Otherwise, this team will just keep draining money without delivering results. Now let's move on to the main topic of this video. What's Simple's form like right now, and can he show the younger players how CS is really played? I downloaded a few demos from his recent tournaments to analyze more than just raw stats. Honestly, when I was writing this script, I imagined things going completely differently. I thought that once I started reviewing the demos, I'd find plenty of impressive plays to share with you. But in reality, there was barely anything noteworthy. Sure, there were a few solid highlights where his aim was on point, but that's about it. I captured a couple of these moments, even considered stretching the narrative to make it look like Simple is ready to reclaim the throne, but objectively, that's just not true. Right now, this is nowhere near the level he used to play at. I think there are a few reasons for this. First, as I mentioned earlier, it's the low overall level of the team. Back in the Navi's days, the team was essentially built around Simple. He went through several roster changes and only found success with one lineup. With Falcons though, he joined an existing team that, to put it mildly, isn't exactly filled with rising stars. Sure, Dupree, Magix, and even Simple himself have tons of Tier 1 experience, but the Danish duo isn't performing at the level they once did. And as for Maiden and Snappy, well, they average Tier 2 players at best. Individually, they are skilled, they understand the game, and they're not in esports by accident. But let's face it, they've hit their ceiling. A team needs to be built on a strong foundation. If the foundation is shaky, the team's potential for growth is limited. If Falcons can't buy top-tier players, they need to take a different route. Scouting young talent. By mixing experienced players with promising rookies, they could achieve significant results in about a year. Breaking into HLTV top 10 is entirely realistic. Just look at what Spirit accomplished when they adopted this approach. Things turned around for them quickly, so in my opinion, this is the only viable path forward for Falcons right now. The second reason Simple isn't performing at his previous level is the limitations of his current situation in terms of organizations. As we all know, Simple is currently with Falcons on loan. Even after a year of being AFK, his market value is still no less than $2 million. Even with Falcons' massive budget, they aren't ready to take the risk of buying him outright and building a new roster around him. The lack of interest from other organizations forces him to work with what's available, and in this context, Falcons doesn't look too bad. I believe many teams would be interested in signing him if he was a free agent, but it's also possible that Simple himself doesn't want to leave Navi. He's openly said multiple times that he'd love to play there forever, but unfortunately for now, there is no room for him on that roster. A lot of the factors affecting his performance are happening behind the scenes, and we can only speculate about what's going on. One thing, however, remains constant. We all dream of seeing the old Simple again. We want those same chills we felt when he lifted the major trophy with tears in his eyes. We want the new records, new highlights, and to watch him conquer new heights in the game. So that's it for today's video. Definitely a bit of mixed one for me. This type of video feels unfamiliar and my emotions about it are kind of all over the place. I hope you enjoyed it, so let me know your thoughts about Simple in the comments. It will be interesting to see if you agree with me or if my take is way off. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell and smash that like button. That's all from me. See you the next time. Bye bye!